Hello, everyone. Welcome to the online writing stream. My name is Arkudel, and I host this stream on a mostly daily basis. Our goal here is to write together. My own theory is that by writing together and writing on a daily basis, we can become better writers. You don't have to be a great writer, you don't have to be an experienced writer. All you have to do is come in, join us, have a little bit of fun. You don't have to share your piece, but there is an opportunity to do that. Usually, what I do is I will give us a writing topic every day. For example, today's theme is hope. Um, these days, I'm dealing with a lot of more heavy global topics in the hopes of getting people more processing this stuff, getting their thoughts down on paper or at least digital paper. Um, and that's my contribution to the world. That's about all I can do from where I live. It's another frozen day over here in South Korea. My coffee is about the only thing keeping me alive this morning, so forgive me for that if I'm a little bit sleepy or out of it. I'm going to do my best. We've got about an hour today to do a little bit of writing together. If you have any questions or any ideas, be sure to share that over in the chat. I do read it pretty actively, um, and I do my best to respond to people. Also, while I join you in writing, if you have any questions about my style or why I write things the way that I do, I love talking about that. My goal is to help people become better and more prolific writers. Um, with that being said, let's take a look. Again, today's theme is hope. Personally, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to write a little short story in the next 20 or 30 minutes, and I will share that with you. You are most welcome to just watch if you want, or I would love it if you join me and share too. Um, you have a couple ways to doing that. One is you can write what you want to over in my chat, and I will read it. It pops up on the stream as well, so it's kind of a permanent record there. The other option is jumping into my Discord, and you can share it by voice, or you can paste into Discord, which is a little bit easier than pasting into chat because of the character limit. Um, but I'm happy to read it there as well, and I'll read it on stream for you. That being said, let's get started. Let's take about 20, 30 minutes, get our ideas down under the theme of hope. You can write a poem, you can write a short story, you can write an essay, a journal entry, whatever's on your mind. Let's do this. I'm going to put on a little bit of music. You're welcome to do the same. I'll be talking from time to time too, especially as I process my own writing. Thank you for joining me today. Hope. Ugh, not so much hope these days. Let's try it. I usually like writing with like a little bit of a fantasy flair, so let's try that. Far off somewhere, a wolf cried at the sliver of moon that yet peeked over the forested horizon. That fell silence. They were all alone out there. So, stare at. Okay. The adventures about the raising adventures. Okay. To the proper side of life. Made one word? Cool. Well, learn something new every day. Oh, no. Grudged. I don't want begrudged. Hello to those of you who just joined us. Welcome. What we do here, we usually grab a different topic every day to write about. Today we're writing about the theme of hope. And in about 15 minutes or so, we're going to come back and we're going to share our pieces with each other. You can either paste your pieces over in chat, or you can give them to me some other way by Discord, or you can join my Discord and read yourself. The main goal here is just to write and share together. And you don't have to share. As long as you're out there writing or enjoying writing, you're most welcome here. So, thank you. And if you just want to hang out and read what I've written, that's okay too. I'll be reading it aloud very soon. Voluptuous. It's a nice word. Jonathan reminded himself it was just that he'd rather be rescued by Lilith, the barmaid, and nursed back to health by her ready smile. We'll just make it more attractive appearance. She was... Ernick, the blacksmith. Unlikely. Slow. Stop in. Possibly come rescue. One by one, he counted down the people who could and possibly would come to his rescue. Saved 100 times. Pragmatic voice. Gent. The way debated every risk. Had remained silent. Things. Preparations. At hand, no. Weighed and debated every risk. It had remained silent on the evening's preparations. Truth. There's no reason to be he could rescue himself. He was so tired, so exhausted. If only rest could. No, no. Shook his head to clear the thought. Staggered a few steps further. Right again. Same thought. Closer this time. Bit off. Would be the one. I have no idea how to spell tussle. There we go. Tussling the trees. Closed his eyes just as the footsteps, indistinguishable, whistling sigh of the winds tasseling the tree. I gotta play with this sentence a little bit. Closed his eyes just as the footsteps approached, indistinguishable over the rustling sigh. Tassel tree. There we go. Alright, I finished up my little piece. Needs a little bit more development, but I'll give you guys another couple minutes to go ahead and do what you need to do. Again, I worked on a little short story. If you guys have anything you'd like to share, please give me a heads up. You can do that in chat, or probably the best way to do is by chat. Otherwise, I will have no idea. You can try sending psychic messages. I probably won't get them. But allow me to share my little piece with you while you guys sort out what you want. Here we go. So under today's theme of hope, an untitled story. Never had the familiar paths seemed so treacherous, the mountains named after his family so tall, nor the stars that half illuminated his way so distant. Jonathan's steps grew heavier with every effort, labored breaths catching in his chest as he struggled onward, deeper into the night, and toward the waning hope of aid. His business would not survive the evening. Of this much he was certain. The overladen cart full of his goods had plummeted from the mountain pass, carrying the screaming oxen with them, and the fires that burst from his shattered travel lantern consumed whatever the fall had not destroyed. It was only by fickle chance that he had been thrown free, or perhaps the whims of one god or another, entertained only by his ordeal to scrabble up the uneven cliff face and work his way home. Far off somewhere, a wolf cried at the sliver of moon that yet peeked over the forested horizon, yet even that fell to silence. They were all alone out there. He, the wolf, the moon itself lost in the dance of life. It took him a while to realize that. While he mused on this, he had sunk to his knees and begun to stare at nothing. The ground was wet beneath him, the thirsty stone path lapping at the sticky liquid he refused to acknowledge. With a grunt, he was on his feet again, wandering forward. His mind turned towards those who would rescue him. Perhaps Jacques, the woodcutter, with his gruff and certain demeanor, an army of children. They would feed him biscuits fresh baked by his wife Erin, and he would tell them stories about the hair-raising adventures he overcame on his journey back to the proper side of life. Maybe Ferris would find him first. She'd made several attempts to court him, seduced by the coffers of the family business. Then again, upon finding out what happened, about finding out what the latest investment incurred, there was a fair chance that she had abandoned him on the road just the same. She wasn't really like that, Jonathan reminded himself. It was just that he'd rather be rescued by Lilith, the barmaid, and nursed back to health by her ready smile and attractive appearance. Yet she was engaged to Ernick the blacksmith, and unlikely willing to welcome another idiot like him into her life. Still, Jonathan promised himself, he'd stop in to visit the local tavern while he was on the mend. One by one, he counted down the people who could, and possibly would, come to his rescue. He was saved 100 times, and none. A piece of his soul, the pragmatic voice of a merchant that weighed and debated every risk, yet had remained silent on the evening's preparations, knew the truth. There was no reason for anyone to be out that evening. Only him, and only he could rescue himself. And yet he was so tired, so exhausted, and with only a little rest he could... No. He shook his head to clear the thought, and staggered a few steps further. The wolf cried again. Same one, he thought, and closer this time. He bit off a laugh. Maybe the wolf would be the one to rescue him. He was on the ground again. The soothing cool of the stone hissed against the fever burning beneath his skin. He wanted to go home. Wanted to wander the cobbled streets of his village one final time, and yet the darkness welcomed him. He closed his eyes just as the footsteps approached, indistinguishable over the rustling sigh of the wind tussling the trees one final time as night gave way to dawn. My intention here was kind of have an open ending. I don't know if he was rescued or not. Um, as I was writing the piece, I was really thinking about Jack London's To Build a Fire, and that's what inspired me to put the wolf in. If you guys have never read that story, it's a fantastic piece about a I think he was a prospector, a miner who got lost in the Canadian wilderness. Um, People told him not to go out. He did, and he started freezing to death. And in the end, he does. He actually he does freeze to death, and his dog wanders away back to town. Um, Kind of a little bit of a rough rough story, but it is what it is. Fantastic in its own right. So, did anybody else happen to have a piece they'd like to share? If not, that's okay too. Uh, Go ahead and you can let me know in chat. That helps a lot. Still need some time. Okay, that's fine. If you want to keep working on your piece, that's cool. Um, we'll try to do one more piece together to kind of show what's happening. Let me see. I have my dice around here somewhere. So, let me grab my dice. I like to use these. These are Rory's Story Cubes. Very cool stuff. We're going to roll 3 dice today. 3 random dice. And based on what the dice tell us, so here are our dice. Based on what the dice give us, we'll develop a story out of it. Or a poem or something. Maybe a poem. So number 1, we have a chalice. Interesting. We have a wolf. Look at that. We have a running theme today, Beyond Hope. And we have some sort of chisel or archaeology tool. Looks like to find dinosaur bones or something cool like that. Wow, that's going to be rough. But let's try it. So we have archaeology tools, a chalice, and a wolf. Under the theme of hope. Wow. Guess I'm ready for a challenge. Am I spelling archaeology wrong? I'm so ashamed of myself. That is, whatever. Chalice and hope. What shall we do here? I need some thinking music. Here we go. Chalice and wolf. Under the theme of hope. Archaeology tools. Dust off. Unveil. Chalice. Wisdom. Wolf. Independence. Move. Uncover. Unveil. Reveal. beware. Wolf represents danger. I prefer independence. Hi, Fluffy. Are they going to make The Hangover for what? Interesting question. Lost. Oh. Damn it. I know who you're talking about, but yeah, it escapes me. I watched The Hangover pretty recently, actually. I never caught it when when it came out. Do you mean I remind you of it, or you need to be reminded of? Lost in an instant. No. No, no, no. What is the Robert Frost poem? It's very famous, but two roads diverged. I took the other one, the more trodden path. I'm all set there, Fluffy. Interesting, interesting request. But I do appreciate the compliment. Right, the road not taken. However, I'm just trying to remember the stanza in the poem itself. The two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood until, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, and took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was forgotten. The main thing I'm trying to remember is the final one. And yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted I should ever come back. The ones headed to paths diverged. So I'll keep that reference in for now because it's just a draft at the moment. Paths diverged. Oops, my phone. Oh, I love spam phone calls in the morning. Rubber Frost was well known for his a little bit vulgar banter. Actually interesting. He was not known as a very nice guy. Chalice and Wolf. It's very fortunate. My university is where Robert Frost was a professor for some time, and his house is converted to a kind of English major gathering place. So I've gotten to do some readings there and some work. This isn't a book, Fluffy. What this is, every day we come together and people are welcome to write together under one given topic. Today's topic is actually hope. Um, and what we do is we write together for about 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then we have the opportunity to share our pieces together. Um, and it's just a way of encouraging each other to write and to develop themselves as writers. I do it so that I do it live so that people know they're not writing alone. Um, Sometimes it makes it easier to know that other people are doing something. Sometimes people join us, sometimes they don't. It's cool. We do it for about an hour every day. You're welcome to join us. You can join us now. I've only got about 10 minutes left, but welcome to join us. Even if you scribble something down, that's cool. Likewise, I've been working on this little piece. That's fine. You're welcome to have your hopes. It's important to remember that what affects the top will eventually affect the bottom. Generally vice versa too. But have your thoughts, my friend. Well, this week's about, well, today is about hope. Yesterday was about tolerance. Tomorrow? Probably justice. I haven't decided yet. Excellent. I think I'm pretty happy with this so far. I'll give anybody else out there about 2 or 3 minutes to finish up their ideas. And then we'll share our pieces. My piece, very short little poem. Oh, thank you, Fluffy. I'm still learning myself. There's no such thing as a great writer. There are writers who edit their work and revise their work and revise it and revise it and revise it. Perhaps they are great. But just busting out a piece, it's just the start. All right. Well, there are places to think. Some adults call it their thinking chair. So you do have that. All right. That being said, I'll share my little piece, and if anybody else would like to share theirs, you're most welcome to. So I put together archaeology tools, Chalice and Wolf, into the theme of hope, and here's what came out. Dust off those forgotten hopes, the ones abandoned to time and paths diverged, the cry of independence from life's banalities, the gears that grind us down, and drink deep from the chalice of life, that even when we are gone, our dreams may live on. Okay, easy busy. Go ahead and share your piece, please. I felt so hopeless these days about the world, especially my country, South Korea. South Korean democracy and the history of its 30-year experiment is under threat. We've come through so many periods of adversity so far. Meanwhile, our belief in justice has been hurt. The repressive first administration of South Korea was overthrown by the student uprising in 1960, protesting against the fraudulent election. But the glory was temporary. General Park Chung-hee, whose daughter is the South Korean present president, I like that, Park Geun-hye, did a military coup d'etat in 1961. The military dictator ruled South Korea in the 1960s and 1970s, and the June Democratic Uprising that generated mass protests from June 10th to June 29th, 1987, was incomplete. Excuse me. All of a sudden, my hopelessness point of view toward South Korea has changed to hope when I saw the millions of ordinary people who went out into the streets for straight weekends calling for Park Geun-hye's step down. That's right. There were always people who changed the world into the right path. I'm not going to walk away as long as I am one of the people who don't give up on justice. Excellent. Well done, Easy Busy. It, yeah, South Korea is undergoing a time of turbulent change. Um, it's interesting, and I hope it heralds the rest of the world moving in that direction as well. We'll have to see. I'm a little unclear on what you're saying, Fluffy, but best regards to it. For today, my friends, we need to start wrapping up. Unfortunately, I have a company class I need to go teach here pretty shortly, but I'll be back tomorrow. Probably an hour later than today. Um, Generally, I try to teach it or try to hold this around 10:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 11:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays, which would be a little bit different for you guys because of time differences. I'm just talking about my time, but I hope to see you back here. Thank you for joining us, even you, Fluffy. It's always good to have somebody chatting away. Easy Busy, thank you for sharing. And anybody else out there who's watching, thank you for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Don't stop writing.